We were always chasing, trouble-daring each other to sneak into cemeteries, climb towers, steal beers. But nothing topped the abandoned radio shack on Eastern Street. It had been shut for over a decade, but the stories lived on. Some said a man burned alive during a lightning storm. Others claimed he wasn't alone, that something came through the static, something not human. So, of course, we had to see for ourselves. So, of course, we had to go. Curiosity, boredom, stupidity. Whatever the reason, we thought it'd be just another night of dares and cheap thrills. We had no idea what we were walking into. It was me, Mikey, Tasha, and Brent. We waited until just after midnight, flashlights in hand, buzzing with the kind of thrill only dumb, bored teenagers can understand. The night felt off. I remember that clearly. The wind was louder than it should have been, like it was trying to speak, hissing through the rusted, half-fallen sign, like it was saying, "Turn back." We didn't. The inside smelled like old plastic and ash. Shelves still stood, half-stocked with dust-covered tech. But it was the silence that got to me, not quiet-silent, like the place had been vacuum-sealed in death. We laughed at first, trying to shake the nerves, teasing each other. But when the old radio on the counter flickered to life, crackling, whispering in a language none of us recognized, we knew we weren't alone. I should have listened to the wind. Creepy as hell, Brent muttered, but his smirk told me he loved it. We fanned out. Mikey started snapping pics. Tasha tried the old radios on the shelf. And Brent found the breaker box and flipped it like an idiot. For a second, the whole place surged with a weird flicker. The lights didn't turn on, but the air changed. My skin prickled. The radios crackled to life, all of them buzzing and hissing like voices just beneath the surface. Tasha laughed nervously. "That's not normal, right?" "Nope," I said, heart hammering. Then we heard it, faint at first, buried beneath layers of static, but unmistakably a voice. Low, garbled, and wrong in every way. There were no actual words, just these strange, wet syllables slurred together, like someone dragging their tongue through mud, struggling to remember how human speech was supposed to sound. Mikey, ever the curious one, stepped closer to one of the old radios, eyes wide and locked onto the flickering dial. "Did you hear that?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "Say it again," he told the radio, like it would somehow obey him. He reached out to adjust the knob and ask me why. Maybe it was instinct, or maybe something compelled him. But the moment his fingers brushed the dial, the damn thing exploded in a burst of heat and fury. Shards of glass and twisted plastic shot across the room like shrapnel from a grenade. Mikey screamed, collapsing to the floor as blood poured through the gaps between his fingers, staining his shirt and the linoleum beneath him. We rushed to his side, calling his name, but it was clear something was horribly wrong. His eyes were rolled so far back in his head that only the whites showed, and his lips moved constantly, forming the same word over and over. "Lou, my name." He repeated it again and again, like a chant or a curse, his voice raspy and distant, as if someone else were speaking through him. And then we saw them, the others. Every old television in the room, dusty and dead for years, had flickered to life all at once. Each screen displayed the same face, pale as bone, lipless, stretched tight in a grotesque grin full of jagged teeth. And those eyes, God, those eyes buzzing and twitching like static, staring right at me. The same voice crawled from every speaker. "Lou." My stomach dropped. My flashlight started flickering. Then all of them went out. Total black. Then the screaming started. Brent was first. I don't even know what happened to him, just that it was fast, wet, like something grabbed him and dragged him across the floor. I heard nails clawing tile, then silence. Tasha was next. Her light came back on for half a second, and in that flash, I saw her being lifted off the floor by nothing, just lifted. Her neck twisted all the way around before she dropped like a puppet with its strings cut. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. I backed away from the TVs, hugging the wall, hoping I could reach the door before it found me. But the back wall had changed again, now covered in old security monitors, stacked from floor to ceiling, flickering in grimy black and white. They were showing us not just tonight, but all our past dares. Climbing towers, stealing beers, hanging outside this very place. Looped footage, like someone or something had always been watching. Then the feeds changed. The Radio Shack. But from angles no camera could reach high up, buried in corners. Brent being dragged away, rewound again and again. Tasha, floating in the air before her neck twisted like a rag doll. Then me. Not past footage. Now, a live feed. A camera. Behind me. I turned. Nothing. But on the screen, it was there, right behind me. I backed away from the phones and TVs, trying to keep to the wall, hoping maybe, just maybe, I could get to the door before it came for me. But the back wall of the store had changed again. It was covered in old security TVs now, all stacked top to bottom, flickering in grimy black and white. And they were playing us. Not from tonight. From every time we'd ever dared each other to do something dumb, climbing the tower, stealing beers, lurking outside this place weeks ago, planning tonight. It was all there, looping, like something had been watching us the whole time. Then the feeds shifted. It was the store again, but the angles were wrong. High up, inhuman. Watching from corners no camera should reach, I saw Brent being taken, rewound again and again in slow motion, like the thing was studying him. Then Tasha, held in the air like a trophy before her neck snapped. Then me, not in the past, not in the store. Me right now, a camera behind me. I turned, breath caught in my throat. Nothing, just broken shelves and dust. But on the screen, it was there. A figure, twisted and hunched, standing inches from me. Skin like melted wax, jaw slack in a crooked grin. I blinked, looked again, still nothing behind me. But the screen showed it stepping closer. Then again. One slow, dragging step at a time, and I knew if I turned away once more, it'd be even closer. Then I felt it behind me. Cold breath on my neck. The whisper again. Lou. I turned. There it was. Crawling from the hole where the back wall used to be. Not a man. Not a ghost. Something in between. Hairless. No eyes. Jaw hanging loose, like it had been broken and never reset. It moved like a broken thing trying to remember how to walk. It wanted me. I ran. I don't remember how I got out, just blood, screaming, slipping in something warm. I shoved Mikey's limp body aside, turned, and it was always closer, crawling on the walls, clinging to the ceiling like gravity meant nothing. Somehow, I made it. I burst through the broken door and into the night, covered in blood that wasn't mine. I collapsed in the street, gasping, shaking, staring at the silent building that had just swallowed my friends whole. When the cops found me hours later, I was still there, soaked in blood, clothes torn, too stunned to speak. They kept asking, where were the others? What happened? But I had nothing, just silence and a blank stare. I still hear it at night, the static, the flicker of a television I never turned on, the low hum of a forgotten radio. And always, the voice, wet, broken, whispering my name, Lou. And sometimes, when I'm alone, I whisper back,